I wouldn't want to be known as only a sex symbol.
Right.
I wanted to be known as an actress.
Some betrayals linger like shadows haunting a lifetime. At 93, Angie Dickinson, the Hollywood legend who captivated millions, is finally unveiling the secrets she's carried for decades. 5 men, icons of Tinseltown's golden era, promised her love, loyalty, and friendship, only to leave scars that never faded. From a crooner's controlling grip to a talk show titan's public slight, their actions shaped her story. Why is she speaking out now? What truths will reshape how we see these legends? Join me as we unravel Angie Dickinson's untold tale of heartbreak and resilience. Some betrayals cut so deep that forgiveness feels like a betrayal of oneself. At 93, Angie Dickinson, once Hollywood's radiant star, has decided to unveil the scars left by 5 men who shaped and shattered her life. Their names are not just whispers in Tinseltown. They are legends who stood by her side on screen and in life, only to leave her with wounds that time couldn't heal. In the quiet town of Culm, North Dakota, on September 30th, 1931, a star was born, though no one could have predicted it. Angie Dickinson, then Angeline Brown, grew up far from the glitz of Hollywood, her heart set on poetry, her dreams untainted by the spotlight. With no acting training, she stepped into the industry as an outsider, armed only with raw talent and unyielding resolve. Within a decade, she outshone countless others, starring in over 50 television films and carving a path as America's first female action hero, a feat that seemed impossible in the male-dominated world of the 1950s. Her fierce spirit and captivating presence propelled her from bit parts to leading lady. In Rio Bravo, she held her own alongside John Wayne and Dean Martin, earning a Golden Globe for New Star of the Year. Later, she mesmerized audiences in the chilling Dress to Kill. But it was her role as Sergeant Pepper Anderson in Policewoman that rewrote history. As the first female TV cop, she didn't just break barriers, she demolished them, earning a Golden Globe for Best Actress and 3 Emmy nominations. Yet behind the applause, a darker story was unfolding. What price did she pay for her defiance? Hollywood in the 1950s was a battleground for women, and Angie fought fiercely. She refused to bend to the industry's predatory demands, turning down advances from powerful producers. Her principles cost her 4 major roles, a sacrifice that cemented her integrity but left her vulnerable to vicious whispers. The press crowned her a sex symbol, but behind the scenes, crueler names echoed, labels meant to diminish a woman who dared to stand her ground. The deepest wounds, however, came from those she trusted with her heart. Her romance with Frank Sinatra was a fairy tale to the tabloids, but to Angie it was a labyrinth of passion and control. Their decade-long dance from 1954 to 1964 was a whirlwind of highs and lows. They came close to marriage in 1964, but something held them back. Was it love or fear that kept her tethered to him? Life dealt Angie another blow when her daughter Nikki, born prematurely in 1966 and diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, passed away at 40. Angie didn't seek the spotlight for her grief. In a private letter, she wrote, "I survived, but a part of me died with her." Her silence spoke volumes, but now she's ready to speak. At 93, Angie is free from Hollywood's chains. No longer bound by fear of losing roles or facing backlash, she's chosen to name the 5 men who betrayed her trust, men she once loved, admired, and believed in. Who are they? What did they do to earn her enduring resentment? And who stands at the top of her list, the one whose betrayal cut the deepest? The first is Frank Sinatra, a man whose charm masked a darker side. To the world, they were the golden couple, but Angie called it the most dangerous relationship of her life. Sinatra, the king of swing, could make hearts flutter with a glance. In private, he showered her with flowers and intimate dinners, whispering words that made her feel singularly special. But that warmth vanished when her career demanded she share the screen with other men. His jealousy flared. He once threw a script in her face, declaring, "You're mine." No one touches you, not even for a scene. He forbade her from seeing male friends, had her followed on set, and after one unapproved casting call, she returned home to find her belongings destroyed, their shared photos reduced to ashes. He never raised a hand, but his control was relentless, gripping her career, her choices, even her sleep. In her journal, Angie wrote, "He didn't want me to love him." Angie Dickinson's heart, bruised by Frank Sinatra's controlling grip, still yearned for a love that could heal. She found it, or so she thought, in Burt Bacharach, the musical genius whose melodies captivated the world. In 1965, they stood at the altar, their union splashed across headlines as Hollywood's perfect match. Angie, riding high as the star of Policewoman, glowed beside Burt, the Grammy-winning composer of songs like I Say a Little Prayer. To the world, they were a dream come true. But behind the Beverly Hills mansion's polished facade, a different story unfolded. What kind of love leaves a woman crying alone in the dark? Their daughter, Nikki, arrived in 1966. Born 3 months premature, a fragile 1 pound, 10 ounces. Doctors warned she might not survive, but Nikki defied the odds. As she grew, her differences became apparent. Diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, a condition barely understood in the 1960s, Nikki needed unwavering support. Angie embraced motherhood with fierce devotion, but Burt seemed to drift further away. I held our baby, trembling, and he asked if she'd disrupt his schedule, Angie later shared, her words laced with lingering pain. While she nurtured Nikki, Burt sought solace elsewhere, in the arms of other women, on lavish yachts, and in the neon haze of Las Vegas nights. Could a father's absence wound deeper than a lover's betrayal? The truth cut even deeper. During Angie's pregnancy, Burt's infidelity wasn't just a rumor, it was brazen. He brought a young singer into their home, their laughter echoing through the halls while Angie slept beside their newborn. It wasn't music, it was betrayal, she recalled, the memory a knife that still twisted. By 1981, their marriage collapsed, the divorce papers masking the raw pain of a family fractured. Burt didn't just abandon Angie. He left Nikki, a child who craved her father's presence, to face her struggles without him. Angie carried the weight alone, balancing motherhood with a career that demanded her resilience. How does a woman rebuild after such a personal loss? Hollywood, however, had more trials in store. The third man on Angie's list wasn't a lover or a partner, but a titan of the industry. Jack Webb, the mastermind behind Dragnet. His influence stretched across television, a man whose word could open doors or slam them shut. Angie, confident in her stardom, believed she could stand her ground. When Webb made unwanted advances, she refused, trusting her reputation would protect her. By morning, 3 promising roles had vanished. Contracts were canceled, no explanations given. Whispers circulated. You crossed Jack Webb. You're done. Did one man's ego really hold the power to dim a star's light? Angie didn't break. She packed her dressing room in silence, her pride intact, but her heart heavy. I could charm audiences, but the system was unbeatable, she reflected. Webb's single phone call had reshaped her career, a stark reminder of Hollywood's unforgiving hierarchy. Yet Angie's spirit endured. She found smaller roles, took on television movies like One Shoe Makes It Murder, and even appeared in Hollywood Wives in 1985, proving her talent couldn't be fully silenced. Her strength was a quiet rebellion against a world that tried to break her. 2 men remain on Angie's list, their betrayals still shrouded in mystery. What secrets did they bury in her past? As we peel back the layers of her story, we find a woman who faced Hollywood's darkest corners and emerged with grace. Angie Dickinson's heart had endured the weight of betrayal, yet 2 more shadows loomed over her past. The 4th man, a figure who claimed to love her beyond measure, wove a web of control that left her questioning her own freedom. For years, she carried the pain in silence, but now at 93, she's ready to name him. Who was this man whose affection became a cage? And how did he reshape her world in ways she never anticipated? His name was Larry King, a broadcaster whose charm captivated millions, but whose love for Angie was a paradox of devotion and domination. In the 1980s, their 5-year relationship from 1983 to 1988 was a quiet affair, rarely making headlines. To the world, Larry was the affable host of Larry King Live. But to Angie, he was a man whose affection came with strings. His gestures, gentle touches, whispered promises, felt like love at first, but soon revealed a darker intent. "You're mine, Angie, forever," he'd murmur, his words less a vow than a warning. A lingering glance when she spoke to others, a subtle tightening of his grip on her life. She felt her world shrinking. Friends drifted away, roles became scarcer, and her laughter grew faint under his watchful eye. When she returned home late, his temper flared not with shouts, but with a cold, calculated rage. Once driven by jealousy, he went so far as to hide a microphone in her car, desperate to catch any hint of disloyalty. When Angie tried to break free, his response was chilling. A shattered mirror, a desperate plea, and a scene that left her trembling. "I thought love meant enduring pain," she later wrote, "but I learned it should never mean losing yourself." How did she escape this suffocating bond, and what scars did it leave behind? The realization that love should liberate, not confine, gave Angie the strength to move forward. But the final betrayal cut even deeper, coming from a man she trusted as family. Johnny Carson, the king of late-night television, was not a lover but a friend, whose actions left a wound that time couldn't heal. Their brief romance in 1983 was fleeting, but their professional connection ran deeper, marked by Angie's frequent appearances on The Tonight Show. She admired his wit, his ability to make guests shine. So when she was invited to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award on his show, she saw it as a crowning moment, a chance to reclaim her place in Hollywood's spotlight. The press hailed it as a triumphant return for the star of Rio Bravo and Policewoman. But backstage, the mood shifted. Johnny approached her with a warm embrace, then leaned in and whispered, "I just spared you from embarrassment. Don't make me regret it." What did he mean, and how would those words change everything? Moments before stepping on stage, Johnny had discovered an old clip, a deleted scene from one of Angie's films where she mentioned a producer tied to past controversies. Airing it could have sparked a scandal, painting her as a provocateur. Instead of protecting her or discussing it privately, Johnny chose a different path. As he introduced her on live television, he said, "Angie Dickinson, a timeless icon who knows when to speak and when to hold her peace." The audience roared with applause, but Angie froze. The words were a veiled warning, a public reminder to stay silent. In the months that followed, she noticed her name fading from award nominations and industry circles, a quiet but deliberate erasure. "I didn't need his affection," she reflects. "I needed his loyalty. But he chose the spotlight over our friendship." How could a moment meant to celebrate her legacy become her deepest humiliation? These 5 men, Frank Sinatra, Burt Bacharach, Jack Webb, Larry King, and Johnny Carson, once held sway over Hollywood, their names synonymous with power and charisma. Frank, with his magnetic control, shaped her early years. Bert's abandonment left her to raise their daughter alone. Jack's influence dimmed her career. Larry's possessiveness stole her freedom, and Johnny's betrayal stung her pride. Each left a mark, but none could break her. At 93, Angie stands tall, her voice stronger than ever. "I've forgiven myself for trusting them," she says, "but their actions remain a part of my story." Unlike the men who once dominated her life, Angie's legacy endures through her courage and the barrier she shattered as Hollywood's first female TV cop. Johnny Carson, the final name on her list, was not just a television titan but a financial powerhouse. His net worth, estimated at $300 million at his death in 2005, reflected a life of opulence. He owned a sprawling California ranch and a Westchester County mansion, recently listed for $5.3 million. His car collection included luxury models like a Rolls-Royce, and he traveled by private jet. Carson's business ventures, including television stations and Johnny Carson Apparel Inc., bolstered his wealth. He secured his assets with comprehensive insurance, ensuring financial stability. His philanthropy, with $156 million donated to the John W. Carson Foundation, teaches a vital lesson. True success balances personal gain with giving back. What can we learn from Carson's empire? And how does it contrast with Angie's enduring legacy? The loss of her daughter, Nikki, born prematurely and diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, was a wound that cut deeper than any professional setback. Nikki's passing at 40 was a private grief Angie bore with quiet strength. Writing in a letter, "I survived, but a part of me died with her." Yet at 93, she's chosen to break her silence, not out of bitterness, but to reclaim her narrative. By naming the men who wronged her, Angie sends a powerful message. Your voice matters, no matter how long it's been silenced. Her story isn't just about the pain of betrayal. It's about the courage to rise above it, to stand tall in the face of adversity, and to inspire others to do the same. In a world that often demands women stay quiet, Angie's decision to speak out is a radical act of defiance, a reminder that truth can be a path to healing. If Angie's story has moved you, share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever faced a moment where you had to find the courage to speak your truth? Or perhaps you've been inspired by someone who overcame betrayal to shine brighter? Let's start a conversation about resilience and empowerment. If you found this journey through Angie's life as compelling as we did, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us uncover more stories that deserve to be told. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop our next video. Speaking of what's next, we're diving into another Hollywood legend's untold story. A tale of triumphs, scandals, and secrets that will challenge everything you thought you knew about Tinseltown. From Oscar-worthy moments to behind-the-scenes dramas, it's a journey you won't want to miss. Stay tuned for more revelations that peel back the curtain on the stars we love. Angie Dickinson's legacy isn't just in the roles she played or the barriers she broke. It's in the quiet power of a woman who faced Hollywood's darkest corners and emerged with grace. As she once said, "I've forgiven myself, but not them." Her words echo a truth we all can carry. Sometimes holding onto your story is the greatest act of strength. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep chasing the truth that sets you free.